Hey guys, welcome back to Think Beautiful, the channel where I chronicle all of Prince Harry's debacles and what a debacle this interview is. He has done an interview with The Guardian for no reason at all. Didn't have to be done. He could have just left it. We all knew the UK tour wasn't his greatest moment. No one really showed up. No one really cared. All right. He obviously saw the king, ticked that box. That's 1 point to Harry. He at least got inside the gates. Yes, it was the visitor's entrance, but it's something, right? He actually got a ticket with the king, but he could have left it at that. Oh, no, not Harry. He had to do a side tour of Ukraine. He is stepping it up. He is getting all political. He is being a faux royal once again. But he did this train wreck of an interview on an actual train. You can't make this stuff up. So I'm going to read you through this interview with The Guardian, and please put your tea down. Put your as ever tea down. I'm sure that's not what you're drinking, but please, you are going to spit it out. You are going to burn yourself, and I cannot be responsible for that. All right. So let's get started. Let's just take a second to make sure there are no breakable items around us because you may want to smash something as well. There will be some laugh out loud moments too. It's got everything, this interview. So this is how it starts. Oh, it starts right from the top. My conscience is clear. Wow, there's an opening for you. Prince Harry on Ukraine, his family, and the media. Exclusive, because this is from his mouth. The Duke talks about the cost of war. What would he know about the cost of war? What would he know about the cost of anything? His portrayal in the press. Oh, here we go. And boxing. Oh, just what I've always wanted to know. As The Guardian joins him on a visit to Kiev. Okay, let's strap yourselves in, guys. It's about midnight. It's raining. Oh, this sounds like a chapter of Spare or something. A small group is huddled around a lonely roadside cafe somewhere near the border between Poland and Ukraine, getting wet in the drizzle, sharing cartons of chips and bottles of beer. Not as ever beer, she hasn't got that yet. One of the bedraggled men wonders out loud why on earth the owner of the cafe would choose to close now, when surely this must have been the busiest it has ever been, as ever. Stuck out here in the middle of nowhere with a captive and hungry audience. Everyone laughs. Oh, it turns out Prince Harry can be quite funny. Oh, isn't he funny? What a great way to start the interview, saying Prince Harry is so funny. Gee, they're really trying to get us on side, aren't they? Trying a bit too hard, if you ask me. It helps to keep things jolly as the security detail work out how the F doesn't say that, how to ferry everyone from here to the train that will take them on a secretly, so secret we know about it, planned trip to Kiev. The aim of the visit is to promote Harry, obviously, but no, it says to promote the work of the Duke of Sussex's Invictus Games Foundation and to celebrate the recovery and rehabilitation of the thousands of veterans there who have suffered life-changing injuries since the war with Russia began 3 years ago. Because of the sheer numbers of wounded, Invictus has become increasingly well known in Ukraine. Oh, that's very convenient for Harry then, isn't it? And Harry, somewhat surprisingly, this is surprising, has achieved cult hero status. This is the only country in the world where Harry is actually some kind of hero. In a war-torn country, these people love him. Allegedly, this is just what it's telling me. The Guardian accompanies him on the journey to the capital, something of a gamble for both sides, as Harry noted. He is suspicious paranoid maybe, of the media, and The Guardian has long been critical of the monarchy. Well, you've got something in common then because Harry is also extremely critical of the monarchy. So no worries there. You guys are same. And over the next 36 hours, oh, imagine being with Harry for 36 hours on a train. Goodness gracious. We learn a lot, big and small, about this complex, yes, he is, conflicted man. That's not a bad description, complex and conflicted. He doesn't like posing for staged photographs, yeah, unlike his wife, and he doesn't like cycling. I have a bony ass, he says. I mean, is he trying to be funny again? He likes to box to relieve his frustration. Hitting the hell out of a bag, he says, helps him to decompress. I mean, you can't really blame him for that one. I'll give him a point for that. He would have to probably take a bit of frustration out at home, but that's okay. In private, he is very informal. Padding around in his socks on the train to and from Kiev and making dad jokes. Well, that just sounds like they're trying to make him relatable, if you ask me. In public, he has a confident voice and an easy charm with strangers. I'll dispute that charm. But on his own, he is softly spoken and asks questions about people and about politics. He has views. Listen to that. He's trying to tell us he's political, but he's not quite game enough to go there just yet. He is not, he says, the unhappy man some of the press like to portray him as. But yes, he wants to spend more time in the UK. So this is sounding a little bit like the Meghan interview on the circuit, where she's saying that people don't really know the real me. I'm not the person you think I am. This is Harry's version of that so far, from what I can see. Does he regret putting his side of the story in the very public way that he has? No, he doesn't, he says. My conscience is clear. Listen to that very, very clearly. He is saying he is not sorry. He does not regret putting his story out into the public. He doesn't regret Spare. That's what that means. He doesn't regret going on Oprah, and he certainly doesn't regret the Netflix docuseries. That is a revelation. After 5 years, he is clearly coming out and saying, I'm fine. I don't regret anything. I'm happy with what I have done. That is huge. It really is. He talks a little about his mother, Diana. Of course he does. He has to. And his father, too. If Invictus is his professional priority, it seems clear his father is a personal one. Okay, so now he's going to talk about his father. Is that appropriate? I wouldn't think so. But all that comes out on the way back to the UK. What is happening in Ukraine is his immediate concern, and for good reason. Look at that. They're trying to tease us with a bit about his dad, and they're saying, oh, we'll get to that later. Good one, Guardian. These statistics are shocking, and they are on the rise. The war in Ukraine has left at least 130,000 people with life-changing injuries, many of them double and triple amputees or with disfigured faces. With no sign of the conflict ending, the Ukrainian government has put using sport as a way to help the recovery and rehabilitation of these veterans at the heart of a national policy, and the country's Prime Minister, Yulia Severydenko, has turned to Invictus for inspiration and help. Very, very convenient for Harry. Ukrainians themselves have embraced the whole concept. The men and women who have taken part in the biennial Invictus Games have become national heroes and front page news. But these competitions only involve small numbers, and the need is vast. So Invictus has been devising programs to help veterans all over the country get access to sports facilities. At a reception on Friday morning, the Invictus Games Foundation team are guests at the National Museum of the History of Ukraine in the Second World War, where they meet ministers and dozens of the recovering wounded. Sports recovery and rehabilitation did not exist in Ukraine before Invictus, the Deputy Minister for Veteran Affairs tells The Guardian. Now we are creating a whole system with different kinds of training and preparing teams in all kinds of sports. And it's here that Harry's popularity among Ukrainians becomes very clear. This guy's a hero. I'm telling you, they love him in the Ukraine. According to this article, the injured want to talk to him. The mothers and fathers of the wounded and dead want to shake his hand or hug him. He is cheered and clapped at every turn, as are his colleagues. This guy wouldn't know what to do with himself. This is probably the only place where he gets this type of attention. He would be loving it. This is why it's his second trip back. It's amazing. We never expected this level of recognition, says Olga Rudneva, the founder and CEO of the Superhumans Trauma Center in Lviv, which has worked closely with Invictus in Ukraine. Ordinary people know who he is. We honestly didn't know he had become such a celebrity. Listen to that. He wants to be a celebrity just like his wife now. I think Prince Harry coming here is a symbol of victory and power. People look at him and his military experience, that's debatable, and they see he's not afraid to come to Ukraine. Why is that? Why is he not afraid to go to the Ukraine, but he can't go to the UK and bring his family? I don't understand this. It is so important that he came. For this and for the other causes he is passionate about, Harry accepts his front and center role and does it willingly, encouraging those who have been seriously injured to find a purpose outside the military is one of his messages. I would say that I have been fortunate, he says. Of course, you're very privileged, buddy. The one thing that people miss when they hang up their uniform is purpose, losing a sense of community and being part of a team, and of course, the camaraderie and adrenaline. But at the heart of it, it's your job. Your role is serving a purpose larger than yourself. His work for Invictus, he says, has given him that after his military career. It saved me. Changing attitudes across society about disabled people is another core message. Seeing people with prosthetics and life-changing injuries is going to be the norm in Ukraine for the coming decades, he tells The Guardian. Nobody should feel embarrassed or ashamed about their disabilities. It's about flipping from sympathy to admiration and respect. Such is the need for men and women to fight the war. Some of the wounded have even ended up back in the military. A lot of the participants in the Invictus Games go back to active service, says Helen Dioli, the Invictus Games Foundation's Chief Growth Officer. Ukraine has become our key strategic priority because of the need there is here. Keeping in mind she is the Chief Growth Officer, this is her job to find areas of growth and ding, 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 I think she might have found it in the Ukraine. Later in the day, the team stops at Maidan Square in the heart of Kiev, where an unofficial memorial to the dead has sprung up. It is a moving and ever-growing field of photos of the dead, flags, messages, and flowers. Harry wanted to lay a wreath, another wreath, here we go, that'll be number 3 in the last 3 weeks or something. But as the crowds grow around him, he steps into the thick of the memorial to be on his own. I wanted to find a spot to lay the wreath in peace away from everyone. My God, it's like a maze in there. I didn't appreciate how far back it went. Honestly, it is one of the saddest things I've ever seen, but also one of the most beautiful. The war, he suggests, could and should have been avoided. It's also unnecessary. A little bit political there, but okay. After this visit, the prince disappears. His car heads off away from the convoy for about an hour. And when he returns to the group, he is coy and tight-lipped. The suspicion is that he has gone to meet Volodymyr Zelensky, but neither he nor the president wants to admit it. Listen to that. So he breaks away from the group, goes off in his car away from the convoy, and there is a suspicion that he's gone to see the president of Ukraine. He's gone to meet with Zelensky. Now, in my opinion, that is what he asked the British government. Can I meet with Zelensky. It sounds like they said, no, not a good idea, not going to happen. Because they're not talking about this. Zelensky is not going to confirm this, but The Guardian has told us that it happened anyway because Harry has told them to leak it. So Harry is leaking this information. He's not meant to have met with Zelensky. I'm pretty sure there's going to be some fallout from this. Zelensky is a champion of the Invictus Games and had made it known he wanted to meet the prince. The British government had made it known to Zelensky it would rather he did not. That was the chat in diplomatic circles, at least. The theory was that giving the rebel royal a platform might not be smart politics on a day that Britain's new Foreign Secretary, Yvette Cooper, was also in town. But only one Briton is making any headlines in Ukraine on Friday. Listen to that. He met with Zelensky and he has just told us all about it. This guy cannot keep a secret ever. Even when the British government tells him no, he does it anyway. The royal family has no chance with this guy. The trip to Kiev comes at the end of a busy week for Harry. From Monday to Thursday, he was in the UK undertaking a series of events related to the causes he supports. He also met his father, King Charles, for the first time since February 2024. On an overnight train heading back to Poland, Harry says he thinks the whole week has gone well and feels hopeful about the future. During the trip, some elements of the tabloid press have published stories that left his team with their heads in their hands. Really? So, not happy with some of the publicity, I see. It appears to make Harry more certain of the need to take on the papers, who he says have unfairly targeted him and his family. Now, I don't recall seeing anything crazy coming up in his few days in the UK. I don't recall seeing any articles that were completely fabricated or overly derogatory. I mean, I was reporting on it, but that I'm not included in this. Clearly, I'm a nobody. But there was nothing really bad. I mean, he just did stupid things and no one showed up. What exactly is he talking about in that part there? What tabloids published stories that left his team with their heads in their hands? I need an example for that one. The Prince, along with Doreen Lawrence and Elton John, among others, is suing Associated Newspapers, the publisher of the Daily Mail and Mail on Sunday. A trial is due to start in January. Another trial, Harry. He's going to be busy. He is booked out into next year now. Yes, I have enjoyed the week, says Harry. I have always loved the UK. Here we go. And I always will love the UK. It's been good to reconnect with the causes I'm passionate about. I have been able to spend some time with people that I've known for so long. It's hard to do it from far away. It's hard to do it from far away. Yes, Harry, it is hard to spend time with people when you're far away. That's just common sense. What are you talking about? He adds, it is only in certain elements of the press where you see this talk about me being down or saying I'm not smiling. This comes from people who think they know what I'm thinking and how I'm feeling. They are wrong. Listen to that. It's again, I'm telling you, it's like Meghan Markle telling us it's a caricature. It's what they think I am. It's not what I actually am. And Harry's saying, no, they think I'm not smiling, but actually that's just how my mouth goes. That's me. I'm happy. You know, they don't know what I'm thinking. You're wrong, people. It's so ridiculous. If he's not smiling, he's not smiling. I've seen many pictures of Harry looking pretty unhappy. So he's trying to tell us now that he is happy, like constantly, like deliriously happy, maybe. I think parts of the British press want to believe that I'm miserable. Are you happy being estranged from your family? Is that a good life? Is it? What is he talking about? But I'm not. I am very happy. Look at this. He's so happy with who I am. and I like the life that I live. He likes the life that he is living. He loves being miles away from his family. He doesn't want a reconciliation. He's happy. Why would he want to make amends with his family then if he's so happy? It actually doesn't make sense. He's just said he wants to spend more time in the UK, but he can't because of security and all these things. How is he happy then? It doesn't add up. If he hasn't always seemed cheerful, that's what we're saying, Harry, you're miserable, then that is hardly surprising. So now they're confirming this, given what he has been going through, he says. So is he happy or is he not happy? I'm so confused now. I have certainly had to deal with some very stressful events over the last 4 years that were self inflicted. There has been the uncertainty and stress of the litigation that I started, says Harry, and that he keeps pushing for no reason, and finding out certain things that have really, really hurt. I think he's talking about his litigation, but he could also be talking about Meghan Markle going to a book publisher and wanting to see if there was interest for a divorce book. He could be. We don't know. We don't know, Harry. Just remember, whatever we think, we are wrong. Oh, goodness. But he believes there is a disconnect between what is written about him by some commentators and what most other people think. Listen to that. We need to see the real you, Harry. We need to see it because, it must just be everyone is wrong. No one is writing the truth. Is that what this is? Is this about the truth? I feel a lot of support from the British people. Do you, Harry? Do you? That's not what the polls are telling me. I'm pretty sure people do not support Harry. Like the majority do not support him. And if you look at the crowds, there was nobody there, Harry. So, how do you feel the support? I don't quite understand that. What are the facts you're basing that off? Even now, when I feel like I have been destroyed by certain members of the British press, it serves them to think that the British public feels the same way about me as they do. But I don't feel that and I don't see that. Oh my goodness. Oh my gosh. This guy is in denial. He thinks the British public love him, is what he's saying. He's saying, what are you talking about? It's just a few commentators saying people don't like me. But I don't see that. I don't feel that. People love me. Oh, wow. Wow. This guy is in deep, you guys. This is worse than expected. For as long as I have known, certain elements of the British press have tried to speak on behalf of the nation. I think they are out of touch with the nation on lots of things. They hope to bring the public with them, but I think the British public can speak and think for themselves. Yeah, we know that. We know that, Harry. That again, that's common sense. People can think for themselves, and most people think that you're an idiot. That's what you need to add into that sentence. Oh, wow. Would he like to spend more time in the UK? We know the answer to this. To bring his children one day, despite the issues over his security arrangements? Yes, I would, he says. This week has definitely brought that closer. What does that mean? What does that mean? How has it brought it any closer? Have you made some inroads? I wouldn't think so. Harry won't talk about his father. Let's see. Let's read this and find out first. But he seems to suggest he wants and needs to see his father more often. Over the coming year, he says, the focus really has to be on my dad. What? Over the coming year. So, over the next 12 months, the focus needs to be on his dad. What does that mean? That doesn't sound good. I have to say that doesn't make me feel happy about the king's health. If you're saying that over the next 12 months we've got to focus on the king. I'm no, Harry, you've just spilled the beans again. You're telling us that he's really sick. That's what that means. Over the next year, we have to keep an eye on the king. Oh my goodness, Harry. Harry, I told you he was going to say something. Harry won't talk about his father, it said. And then he just says, well, 12 months, it's going to be not great. That's what I'm reading. Harry mentions his wife, Meghan. Lovely. Only once by name. That's all you need. A reference to something she told him about how telling the truth is the most efficient way to live. Oh my God. I don't know what to say. What do I say to that? Oh, okay. Meghan is an expert on telling the truth, I see. She said, just stick to the truth. Oh, see, this is why you can't be drinking tea. That would have just spat everywhere. It's the thing I always fall back on. Always. And if you think like that, who would be stupid enough to lie? Oh my God, Harry. No, you need to stop. Stop talking. It takes up too much time and effort. Oh, wow. Oh, wow. I'm going to read that again. I want you guys to hear that again. Okay. This is what Harry said. He has said that Meghan told him about how telling the truth is the most efficient way to live. Just let that sink in for a second. The biggest liar in the world has just told us that telling the truth is the best approach. And she says, stick to the truth. And that's what he does, apparently. Okay. And if you think like that, who would be stupid enough to lie? I can tell you, Harry. Let me tell you, Meghan is stupid enough to lie again and again and again and again and never stops. Like infinity. She just goes on and on and on. It takes too much time and effort. Wow, either he is massively gaslighting us right now, or he is that stupid. No, I think it's probably more this one, that he just doesn't even know when she lies anymore. Maybe he thinks that she is telling the truth now. Oh gosh, Meghan should not even come up in this interview, let alone in the same sentence as the word truth. Oh, that's hard to get past. That was a big bombshell. Which brings him to the very public things he has said about his life. The interviews, the TV series, and the book he wrote, Spare. I know that speaking out annoys some people. I'm not sure annoy is the right word, Harry. It's probably a bit worse than just annoying. You're not just the annoying little brother when you write a whole book about your family and call people the R word. Like that's not just annoying, Harry, okay? And it goes against the narrative, as in, I guess, the royal protocol. Never complain, never explain. Is that what he means? The book? It was a series of corrections to stories already out there. Okay, so he's saying the book was just his response to stories. I'm not sure about that. One point of view had been put out and it needed to be corrected. BS, BS, Harry. I had never heard about the dog bowl story. Had you heard about the dog bowl story? Was that Harry correcting what happened? I don't think so, buddy. I think that was the first time it came out, and I know that from your book. So that's BS, straight up. How ridiculous. And no one mentioned the R word before you brought all that up. That was not a thing to be correcting. That was you throwing bombs, Harry. Oh my goodness. That is the worst justification for Spare I think we will hear. Wow. He's saying basically, not my fault. I was just correcting what was already said. He adds, I don't believe that I aired my dirty laundry in public. Oh my gosh. Is he talking in this last bit after a few beers? What happened here? What happened to the veterans? What happened to Ukraine and all of those things? Now he is just talking garbage and digging a hole for himself. It was a difficult message, he says, but I did it in the best way possible. He thinks he did it in the best way possible. My conscience is clear. Oh gosh. Being called stubborn slightly rankles with him. It's not stubbornness. Well, that sounds like you're being stubborn. It is having principles. Oh, wow. There are too many points to talk about in this. It seems he does not want to prolong any legal battles. Well, you are. He does not even expect to get positive coverage from some quarters. A ceasefire is perhaps the best he can hope for. It is not about revenge. It is about accountability. I love when he says accountability because he has no idea what that means. Nor does he want to prolong any divisions with his family. Then stop talking, you idiot. Then say sorry if you don't want to prolong the issue. But in life, he says, you cannot have reconciliation before you have truth. I think we've had enough of the truth, Harry. I think you're done with what your version of the truth is. I think you can stop now. Harry, who turns 41, how sad, today is his birthday, appears a bit bemused by his popularity in Ukraine. He loves it. He absolutely loves it. He's probably signing people's chests with a Sharpie. Probably signing bananas over there. By the end of the visit, he has so many bags of presents to take home. Oh, Meghan's going to love this, including a dagger hidden inside an ornate walking stick. Oh, don't give something like that to Harry. They take up most of the free space in the back of the private jet that returns him to the UK. Private jet. Who paid for that, I wonder? Did Ukraine pay for that? I'm not sure they're in a position to be paying for private jets. Someone paid for that. He puts it down to the fact he served 10 years in the army, here we go, and the way Ukrainians have adopted the ideas of the Invictus Foundation. He is told that Rudnieva thought part of the reason people liked him was because he is quite Ukrainian in his attitude to life. He does his own thing in his own way. Oh, and this is the last line in the interview. Ready for this? You know who else did that? Says the prince. My mum. Oh, Harry, you left the interview on a real bum note there, didn't you? Mention your mum again. My goodness. My goodness. This man, what do I say? So he mentioned Meghan and how she has taught him to tell the truth. It's the best way, the most efficient way to live, says the compulsive liar. All right. He has also said that basically his father in the next 12 months is his priority. Not sounding great, sounding worse rather than better, if you ask me. He also thinks that by releasing Spare, it was just him responding to stories that were already out there anyway. So that's not his fault. And remember, he's all about accountability. Go figure that one out. And of course, he also said that he has a clear conscience. He doesn't feel like he aired his dirty laundry in public. You wrote a book, buddy. You told everyone so many secrets about the royal family. You don't think that's airing your dirty laundry? Oh, goodness. This guy, it's all over. This was the end of the road. You don't get much worse than this. Why did he do this interview? I will never understand. But guys, I want to hear your thoughts. This is craziness. Please pop a comment down below. Let's have a discussion about this. Please like and subscribe, and I'll keep these videos coming. Thank you guys. Bye.